again, welcome to Pearl Magazine. Tonight, struggling to make it on the outside. Research shows that when ex-offenders have a support network and gainful employment, the chances they will reoffend are greatly reduced. But in Hong Kong, the reality is many ex-cons face big obstacles as they try to reintegrate into society. Minimal education and a lack of vocational skills, not to mention a criminal record, are just a few of the challenges. Pearl Magazine's Tina Jiang shares some of the stories and struggles of some ex-offenders as they try to get their lives back on track.
I think I'm good at making my egg tarts. I often get positive feedback from people in the neighborhood.
27-year-old Ashing has been working at a bakery for 5 years. He's most busy in the morning.
I come back and start work at 6 a.m. The first thing I do is bake the bread. I need to prepare 200 loaves a day, and even more if the business is good. I don't feel too tired, maybe because I'm still young.
The young man works 6 days a week. Over the past 5 years, he's proud to say he's never been late, not even once.
It's all about responsibility. I must be on time. It's just a basic. I'm the only one running this kitchen. No one can help me. If I don't come back to work today, the shop will have nothing to sell.
Ashing dropped out of school and started working when he was a teenager. Back in the early days, he was far from being a good employee.
I made a mistake when I was 16. And I was jailed for half a year.
As for his crime, Ashing doesn't want his past to be known, as it might affect his family and the bakery. But he has since tried to move forward.
I never liked studying since I'm not that type. So I started working. But I was young at the time and irresponsible. I felt unhappy easily when criticized. I was very rebellious. I didn't do what they asked, so every working day was unhappy.
He then quit his job after a year, and after that he never thought about settling down until a social enterprise introduced him to the bakery as an apprentice.
I was not interested in baking. It's hard to learn at the beginning. But they gave me a chance. I thought I could give it a try. There's one thing I like about the bakery. If I made mistakes, they would not scold me right away. They would ask the reason. Are you feeling unhappy? So it's heartwarming to work here.
Located in a public estate in Chai Wan, the bakery was established in 2018 with a mission to provide employment and training opportunities for young ex-offenders, and of course, serving the neighbors freshly baked pastries. Ken is the operations manager.
Although I'm the manager, I'm not in charging them. I not give them order. I work with them together. We build friendship. We discuss how to make the shop better, to attract more customers.
There are 5 employees working here now, 2 of them with a criminal record. The shop also hires underprivileged women from the neighborhood as part-time workers.
The morning session is very busy. We know our duties. The baker inside and prepare the bread. We outside prepare the food and drinks.
Ken is relatively new to the job. He's only been working here for a year, but Ashing had already left a good impression.
Bakery is something boring because every day you need to repeat and routine. He come back here every day at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I don't think many teenagers now can do it. I think this kind of attitude can can bring him to every market, every job.
Even though Ashing would like to learn more about baking, he's also worried about working somewhere else.
Some employees ask whether you have a criminal record during the interviews. You must tell them. You can't hide it. If the employer checks your background and realizes that you didn't tell the truth, they can sue you. So this is a problem.
He says he's learned a lot from his mistake in the past.
At least I learned baking skills. If I didn't have that experience, I wouldn't even consider getting a decent job. I wouldn't grow up so fast. The prison experience pushes you to become an adult anyways.
Ashing thinks that being less educated is one of the reasons why he doesn't have many options in the job market. But even with sufficient education, many find it hard to get an ideal job because of their past.
Even if they used to work in the office and are well educated, it's nearly impossible to continue doing the same work.
Sam used to be a registered accountant, a professional with a criminal record. Sam had some bad experiences finding jobs after he was released.
If they're nice, they would say your application will be considered and won't be discriminated, but nothing would happen in the end. Another scenario is that they would ask you to take a pay cut. Let's say the average salary of a post is $20,000. They would ask you to accept $14,000. If you say okay, then you are hired. I stole money from the company. I was so stupid. I didn't know I would lose all the money. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I had no clue.
The days in prison were hard, but his life after that didn't get any better right away. Sam lost confidence in finding office jobs after he was rejected several times. He thought he would never be able to work in accounting again, until he met Thomas.
Many prisoners are from the middle class. Many are well educated. In the prison, they have nearly nothing to do. When they are out, they have no hope either.
An experienced accountant himself, Thomas had worked in big companies. He believed if these ex-offenders couldn't find a job they prefer, it would be a waste of their talent. That's why he decided to give them a second chance by making use of what he knew.
Once they are jailed, they lose their confidence. They feel useless, and no one will give them another chance. They need to regain their confidence. Accounting firms are no ordinary workplace. It has high integrity. Of course, it'll help them to earn their credibility.
In 2013, he opened his accounting firm and started hiring ex-convicts. But not all of his clients supported the idea despite knowing the story.
They would feel that I've already made a compromise to give these ex-cons opportunities. They're not the top tier either. So of course you should give me a discount.
Over the past 8 years, he's provided jobs for 34 ex-convicts. Now, half of his employees have criminal records. But Thomas admits that not every job seeker is a good fit.
There was a very senior accountant in his 60s who reached out to us. He was experienced, had worked in listing companies at the managerial level. He thought he could handle everything. We didn't hire him. So he tried finding a job elsewhere, but still couldn't find one for a year. In the end, he came back to us, and this time he was very humble. He knows that it's impossible to find a similar job elsewhere. He had to face reality.
Before he started the social enterprise, Thomas had worked as a volunteer visiting prisoners regularly for 5 years. The memories of interacting with these people stayed with him, even after he stopped making visits.
If we don't give them chances, they go into a vicious cycle. They may continue offending or hurting society. Giving them a chance helps prevent them reoffending.
Sam has always been grateful. for his second chance.
I made mistakes, so I knew I should seize the opportunity. I must do more than 100% to prove that I'm thankful. The public may not accept us or may not be willing to give us a second chance. But I'm not going to give up.
After the break, growing up in a family where daughters are worth less than sons. Stay with us. Welcome back. For centuries, segments of Chinese society have favored sons over daughters. These family notions often took hold in rural areas and originated in the belief that a girl would eventually marry into another family whose bloodline would continue. But these antiquated beliefs have caused untold hardship for generations of women. How have they coped? Pearl Magazine recently met two women who've been raised under such circumstances.
60-year-old Rebecca is the second daughter in her family. Because her mother ran into delivery difficulties when giving birth, Rebecca was regarded as a jinx and taunted by relatives. Although things got better after her younger brother was born, she still feels bitter.
They believed my birth brought up my brother later. So they started being nice to me. It affected my behavior, paying attention to cues from people to win their respect.
Rebecca says her mom would warn her to take care of her kid brother really well, otherwise she would be beaten.
She beat me with anything in hand. Clothes hangers, chopsticks. I've been brainwashed that men are more important than women.
Rebecca says her mom loves her son more than her daughters. She herself was a victim of gender prejudice when she was growing up.
The bias for sons was common in rural village, like my hometown. A girl would end up getting married, so education was not needed. So I quit school. My family was poor.
In the past, village boys could study in the ancestral hall in the morning, while girls had to do farm work. They could only go to night school. Despite being unfair, it was impossible for Rebecca's mum to rebel. As a victim of the bias herself, Rebecca's mum failed to change this behavior. She even passed it on to the next generation. But Rebecca felt a need to break the vicious cycle, choosing not to have children. According to historians, the prejudice for sons originates from a culture that a woman, an outsider, can't inherit the family surname and its fortune in property. Girls can't eat at the table with boys or older generations. They were often abandoned as well. A psychologist says women who are raised under such circumstances are ignored by their parents. They were even seen as servants to assist men in the family and at work. All the unfair treatment could have left them deeply traumatized.
The trauma is that there is a permanent void, that their parents weren't partial to them. Parents-in-law are not biological parents, so they were good enough if they fed them. Girls knew they were living in a precarious position, causing great insecurity and a loss of confidence.
Rebecca says now her mom is 82 years old with Alzheimer's disease. She decided to let bygones be bygones.
I bought fish because my mom likes eating fish. I buy fish every day. It's the destiny that we live as mother and a daughter. I don't hate her.
Not long after her mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, Rebecca moved in to take care of her. When she was young, she felt her mother was bad to her, so they were not close at first. Living together now gives them another chance to communicate.
佢俾細佬食咯，佢留翻俾細佬食㗎。你冇咁講，我幾時俾隻雞俾阿細佬揸住嚟食㗎？我冇啲咁嘅嘢嘅。你係冇咁樣揸住細佬，你揸住食啦？唔係，你會翻埋去嗰邊多啲喎。你問我咩？冇話重男輕女嘅，得一個仔梗係比較錫佢啦。我一個仔啫嘛。
But her parents being partial to her younger brother has become a lifelong scar.
Why? Blaming them. Maybe a little bit. My parents don't love and care about me too much. In return, I don't know how to give back my love and care for them. I don't love them very deeply, but I feel the sense of responsibility for them.
What happened cannot be reversed. Rebecca now only hopes her mum would appreciate the dishes she cooks for her.
我做得好唔好啊？好。唔係你唔煮飯㗎。希望佢愛我多啲。
Grandma Cheng also knows how it feels being treated unfavorably as a girl. In her hometown of Anping in Guangdong province, people cared for a son so much, there was a rumor one custom existed. If the newborn baby was a girl, the mom would drown her. And if the baby survived, she would be sent to others.
She planned to drown me, but I survived. I was so little at the time. But my mother sent me to another home to do chores. I was first to work, but last to eat.
Grandma Cheng ended up staying with her aunt. After she got married, her parents asked her and her two younger sisters to bear the daily living costs of their younger brother.
We raised him together. He lived and had meals at my home after I got married. One sister supported his schooling. The other, who married a foreigner, gave him pocket money.
Although being asked to give everything to her brother, Cheng never blamed him. She was just not content with her mom holding the bias her whole life.
I have no regrets because he is my younger brother. As a sister, I should care for him. My mom said a daughter's like water, drained away in the end. But a son is a treasure.
Living in her aunt's house, Cheng had the duty of cooking before she was 7 years old.
I've been cooking for more than 70 years and have been to the wet market for decades.
Jung, the psychologist, thinks change has to come from within a household in order to prevent the unequal mindset from passing to the next generation.
There's no law to forbid people's bias against girls, not like disability discrimination, which is against the law. The bias is easy to pass on or to be tolerated. If this happens in another home, people feel it's not their place to interfere in another family's matters.
She says if a family still has this bias, one has to treat the next generation equally. Then the vicious cycle can end.
I highly encourage parents to love their children equally. This is the way to reject this bias. You may have to grin and bear in front of your older generations, but to your next generation, you stand with them, and that'll change the whole system.
Grandma Cheng is one of the moms who have broken through the tradition. She keeps treating all her children equally, grandchildren as well.
Boy yes, girl no. This is the mindset of my mom's generation. I'm different from my mom. I won't apply her mindset to my children. It's unreasonable to make them experience my sufferings.
That's Pearl Magazine for this week. Next week, in Hong Kong, there are so many buried historical treasures, people are literally stumbling on them. See you then. Good night.